making sense of the madness coming out of Australia. If not, you can go on his website. I still think he got a website. I mean, they spanked his ass pretty good, I believe. He was telling too much, and he was dropping too much energy, dropping too much information, and then white people was like, okay then, you don't know what time it is. You know, you see what I'm saying? And it says there are two types of beings on earth. There are two completely different types of consciousness inhabiting a singular physical bodies. Singular physical bodies. Over 70% of the bodies have a demonic or counterfeit consciousness. Or I don't want to say the word counterfeit consciousness because the word demonic or Damien has a whole nother meaning to it. Do you know that the true love is a Damien or a demon? And we explain what the Damien is. The word demon comes from the word Damien. The word Damien comes from the word amen or amen, which means hidden. So the Damien or the demon that you're thinking and all is a degraded form that you know of today, means something totally different in the ancient world, which means one's own genius. Do you know that love is a demon, in so many words, or a Damien? That's why it hits you and you're all screwed up. I mean, really, when you really think about it, we're going to go into this tonight and all. Has anybody ever been in love? I'm really in love. It's some real... Okay, you hear two sides of it. There's two sides of it. You know the side that's all romance. You see, because that's what they teach in the Western culture. But there's a flip side that there's no difference in love and madness. You ever been in love and been mad at the same goddamn time? You ever had this shit happen before? I mean, raise your hands. Some of the damn sisters can bear witness to this shit. Have you ever been in love, but it was a form of sense of insanity also too? You haven't experienced true love. Because we're not talking about an infatuation where compatibility, or we complement each other. You see what I'm saying? That's a partnership. That's a partnership. I'm talking about something whereas you might not have nothing in common, but you bound together, and whenever you think, I ain't fucking with that motherfucker, fuck her, and then an hour later something eats through, and so hell yeah you are. And you making up excuses why you making a phone call and shit or standing outside in some damn rain. That's eros. Eros, divine love, and it's a form of insanity. We're gonna tap into some of that tonight. I mean, y'all, I don't know, the brothers might not have experienced, but how many sisters have experienced this shit I'm talking about? A form of insanity. I mean, craziness. How many brothers have experienced this shit? I'm talking about some real shit where you crazy. That's the real true shit. You know, I'm talking about some stuff whereas you be all right one minute, and you might smell a smell that reminds you of the person, and you go into fucking relapse. You might be in the middle of downtown and shit. You know what I'm saying? And catch some damn relapse shit, go into remission on their ass. Fiending. You ever had? That's a Damien. That's an entity. There's a whole book written on that called Love and Will by Rollo May. Love and Will by Rollo May. That's an entity. That's a Damien. Do you know that Satan is love? Now see, I know you said, oh, this motherfucker done gone crazy now. We're not even talking about, we're not talking about no devil worship or no kind of shit like that. We're not talking about that. And I'm going ahead of myself right now. I think that's a bit strong. Satan is love. I really got to check myself on that and really break that shit down. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think I'm buying that right now, let alone you. No. But you people who have followed me, you understand what we're talking about here, and I'm going to explain what this thing is also too, because if you study the origin of this thing, Eros, and there's the mythology, Eros and Psyche, and you heard Sister Kimberly talking about the whole mythological thing. In so many words, what modern day terminology means is something totally different. Something totally different. And we'll get deep into this stuff. I'm going ahead of myself. But what I'm trying to say here is we're totally turned around from anything that remotely resembles, you see what I'm saying, what reality is. What reality is. Now, so let's see where we're going to start here. We're going to start to a certain level. I got so much stuff and all, I'm just, and also I ain't had no sleep in the last 2 nights and stuff. So I'm waiting for the narcotics to kick in. Yeah. Now, it's interesting here, hold on. No, I see that. I'm going to get that later. Oh, shit. Now, look at this damn shit here. This book here is out of print. I think, what's the paperback going for? $32, and I just tore the damn cover off the paperback, and it's $32. And what's the hardback going for? This is the Goddess Segment by Robert Masters, $180. And I was up in New York last summer, and they had a hardback for $8, and I didn't get that shit. Sometimes you gotta get that kind of stuff. Let me show you what I'm talking about, because there's a book here we're gonna get into. This book here is a book where it's King Tut's tomb, where they literally go and they literally copied all the hieroglyphics off of King Tut's tomb and put it in this book. It's all types of stuff, and I'm going to get into this stuff when I get into my thesis tonight. But the book, I paid $25 for the book in '96, but the book is worth $400. So sometimes you have to really move on things and stuff. There's another book called Avantia by Henry Corbin. Came out in 1990. Book came out in 1990, paperback. But now the book is worth $300. You see. So, but these white people understand what level that particular stuff is. Here's a Gert's Voodoo Shadow Walls, which is the comic book, and I talked about this before. And this is what the white kids are actually learning and dealing with in role-playing games. Gert Voodoo Shadow Wars. But yet in here, they're using the voodoo to fight against what they call the evilness of Palo Minombe. And Palo Minombe is these particular spirits that we have here on the ground here. Palo Minombe, and which is also called the Congo rights. That is because they got to train their people. They say, we want you all to get into what you need to help you, but there's some stuff that is our true enemy, and we have to fight against, we have to fight against that type of thing also too. So it's interesting that particular book, which they give a bibliography, and a movie list. Movies to see based on Voodoo, Angel Heart, The Believers, Cast a Deadly Spell, The Crow, Ghost, Layer of the White Worm, Live and Let Die, Manitou, Nightbreed, Serpent in the Rainbow, Sleepwalkers, and Wolfing. Anybody ever saw Wolfing? And you got to go check that shit out and go and when they go into that Native American bar, and the Native Americans start dropping what the damn wolfing is, it's profound. You see what I'm saying? It's profound. I want to also say, in 1973, Bruce Lee died on June 30th, 1973. When it's supposedly I guess the Chinese mafia, the Chinese secret society took him out. But he had already made Fist of Fury, Chinese Connection. What's that? Oh, it's too loud. Oh, I see. Okay. I'll back off. He'd already made Fist of Fury, Chinese Connection, and no. Fist of Fury, Chinese Connection, and he made Return of the Dragon, where he fought in the Colosseum of Rome, which wasn't even released until 1974. After Enter the Dragon, he had already made this and stuff, but the first American installment was Enter the Dragon. You see, that he did somewhere late 72 or early 73, and he died right after he died after right at Game of Death, because he died at Game of Death with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, because they couldn't finish it. But so the other one had to have been done late 72 or early 73, and he died on June 30th of 1973. The key here is, isn't it ironic that the first American movie, when they released the Enter the Dragon, they already knew that the first time they was going to put big bucks behind the karate movie, because at that particular time, you know, it was a cult thing with the Fist of Fury and Chinese Connection, but it was Enter the Dragon when it made the martial art movie on world stage, where they put money behind it, Warner Brothers. But Warner Brothers put money behind it, but also they had a ritual that they had to kill Jim Kelly, the black man. Hell, John Saxon couldn't even fight in the movie and didn't know karate in real life. But they killed Jim Kelly, and it was a doggone lynching, because not only did they kill him, they hung him in chains and dropped him in acid. You see? And when I remember seeing this shit back in 73, and I was like, you know what? And I love the whole Bruce Lee thing, but I was saying to myself, you know, this is some bullshit, even back then. Really got to me. It was interesting because not only was it a doggone ritual, they even put it on the damn movie poster. They put it on the movie poster. They put this, when he's hanging on in the chains and they dropped him in acid, they put him in the movie poster. So he became the premier black martial arts star of the 1970s, but he also had to do that. That was his part of the ritual you got to do in some form of Hollywood. His was to simply die at that time. You see what I'm saying? But this was a ritual to go into the subconscious mind, and here you have a world stage championship. You got three races that's dealing with this thing: white, Chinese, Asian, which will represent everybody else, and black. And the black man gets killed, and they not only that, they hang him up and not only eats his body up in acid, but they put it on the movie poster. You see, then 20 years later, in 1993, oh damn, holy cow. 20 years later in 1993, no, it was less than that, it was 1997. What's the math on that? 73, 97. No, then it had to have been 25-year anniversary. So yeah, so it had to been the 25-year anniversary. They came out with the entire remastered widescreen version, DVD or either video, and I said, man, I'm going down to get that. And the Spirit told me, don't get that fucking movie. Said it just like that. I said, damn, now hell, I've been knowing about this movie. I mean, you know, I saw the movie when it first was released, the first damn week back in 1973. And I said, they said, don't get that movie. And so basic in so many words, it was that same ritual they was playing over and over again. You see what I'm saying? So these are some things that Hollywood automatically engaged in, and all of them. Let me tell you something about all of the stars. Before they spend millions on you, you got to do something. And in this day, who knows what that shit might be. Now they say that Samuel L. Jackson boy be going through some serious rituals with these white boys. You see, but that's the ones you see that's working. They doing something. You see what I'm saying? They doing something out there. You know what I'm saying? Will Smith just all of a sudden just blew off the doggone charts. You see what I'm saying? And then they just got your Mr. Uncle. They just told him we're gonna put you in every Uncle Tom movie come out. Cuba Gooding Jr., who never met a white woman he didn't like. You see? So this is some stuff that's actually going on, and that's still a ritual. Still a major ritual that's going down. Moving right along, let me get some notes out here. And, always unorganized. But then again, if I was organized, I wouldn't be standing here talking to you. I'd be somewhere, in a pinstripe suit, then change my voice up. You know how we do. We that bilingual people now. Somewhere making excuses for why my people are the way they are. That kind of thing. First of all, we must understand something here. This is something you must understand psychologically about the European, and this is the reason why we fail so much. Now, this is the key. This is a mystery between the psyche. And it's so subtle until you don't understand it because you don't know the rules of engagement. Now, this is the psyche. You go on the job, a white man say, hi, hello to you in the morning. He say hello to you in the morning. That's it. Now, with black people, you say hey in the morning. You might pass each other about 10 times a day. You're going to say hey, and you're going to greet each other each time you pass, because we go on based on, you see what I'm saying, how we feel. How we feel. Now, the white man, it's a protocol thing. You know that. Let's do sex next Monday at 10 o'clock, okay? Put me down. Pencil me in. He say hi that morning. You come back 12 o'clock. You say hey or hi again. He gonna think you crazy. Look up at this nigga here. I just greeted him this morning. Because you don't understand the nature. The nature is you go by how you feel about someone. They go by how you make them feel. It's a damn difference. There's a difference. They can genuinely like you or think that they love you. But you had to produce something to make them feel a certain way. That's how they can love Michael Jordan, but hate the race that he belongs to. Because Michael Jordan's talents did something to make them feel a certain way. There's a difference. Not based on how they feel about humanity. So you go to the African, the way he feels about humanity, he'll automatically accept you. Just because you're human. We just automatically accept you. Not unless you do something to make a person dislike you, you automatically accept humanity. Because you're human. There's a difference. So you go based on how you feel about someone, based on whether you're human or not. But then you have to produce something, you see what I'm saying, to make them feel a certain way. So they go based on how you have made them feel. There's a difference. That's why they say, I like you, you're not like the rest of your people. That's because they don't give a damn about the rest of your people, because you have produced something. You might have laughed at a couple of jokes too long, grinned when the shit wasn't funny, overextended yourself, and they say, you're not like the rest of them, because you have produced something to make them feel a certain way. You get where I'm coming from? That's the difference. You see, whereas, and this also goes back down into how they have trained us on our relationships. Now, in our relationships, and even with the sister or even with the brother, it's the same thing. The brother might go, man, I really like her, man. She did this, she did that, and she did this. And I really think I'm in love.